So let's talk about the Christmas thing. Okay. I am now going to make the argument that you should buy a life insurance policy for Christmas or have someone else buy you one for Christmas. Okay. Part one, why you should buy one for Christmas. Let's begin. So you're going to spend money on stuff. You're going to turn dollars into things. That's what Christmas is about, right? Turning dollars into things and then giving those things to other people. Okay. Now, here's the problem with that. Now, let's first talk about the good things. We do this because the things we buy make people feel good. It makes us happy to buy it for them. And it's nice to give stuff to other people. I think giving is a great thing. Now, Christmas has become very consumerized because of the fact that we're turning dollars into things. And that's basically what happens on Christmas, right? Now, the problem here lies in the fact that when we turn these dollars into things, we don't get these dollars back ever again. So if I take the dollars and I turn it into, let's say, a PlayStation for my son or whoever, right? That's several $100s I'm never going to see again. Now, does he get the PlayStation and does it make him happy? Sure. It also might make him a brainwashed vegetable too, but at least he's smiling, right? So we're turning the dollars into the things, they're using the things, they're enjoying the things, but we never see these dollars again. And we don't think about that because we don't think there's an alternative. Now, sometimes these dollars are ours. Okay, sometimes these dollars are theirs. When I say theirs, I mean the bank. What do I mean by theirs? We're borrowing it. We're putting it on a credit card. We're financing the things for the people, right? So let's just complete this. We're taking the dollars to buy the things to give to the people. That's Christmas, okay? So when we take the dollars that are theirs, we're paying interest because we're putting it with Visa or Amex or Discover or whoever, right? And so when we spend on the things and we give the things to the people, we still have to cover the interest and we don't have the dollars to do that anymore. And the things that we gave to the people don't pay us anything, okay? So we would not want to use their money. We would want to use our money if we were going to do this. Now, the problem with using our money is something called opportunity costs. We're just going to call this op costs. Okay, what is opportunity cost? Opportunity cost is the fact that anytime I use a dollar for a thing, I've disallowed myself to use that same dollar for a different thing. Meaning by saying yes to one purchase, I'm saying no to every other purchase I could have made instead. Okay, or investment. And this is where I'm going with this. What if I were investing this money instead? There's a cost with that. What could I be earning on my money? Well, I know for a fact when I do a seller finance real estate deal, I'm making 12% on a mortgage for 20 years, right? So the opportunity cost for me is at least 12%. Every time I spend a dollar on a thing that's not a seller finance real estate deal, it costs me 12% interest. I might as well be borrowing that on a credit card because I'm losing out on that future value. And that is my opportunity cost. Okay. Now, here's the dilemma is if I do this, let's say I take all my dollars and I put them into deals and I invest them. Now I can never buy the things for the people because I put them into investments instead. And those investments I can't gift that to a 12-year-old, for example. I can't gift that to a spouse and be like, Merry Christmas. I could, that would be really awesome. Most people can't and won't, right? So when I buy the things, and I should buy the things because I want to give that to the people because I care about the people, the question just becomes, how do I work out the dollars? Okay, so I could use theirs, I could use ours, or I could use the sacred account. Okay, this is the life insurance we just talked about. So let's say that the things cost $3,000. I'm going to spend $3,000 on Christmas. Okay, that's not far off for some people between travel and all of the extra food we buy for the dinners and you know the gifts and the trees and the decorations. People probably spend about this, maybe less, maybe more on Christmas. Okay, I should not use their $3,000 because I will pay probably 10 to 20% interest on a credit card. To do that, that's my cost. Okay, I should not use our money, my money, because I could invest that money instead and I could be making 12% on it. So my cost is 12%. Okay, if I use the sacred account instead, here's what I do is I take $3,000, that is $250 a month. Okay, from the beginning of the year until Christmas, I'm going to set aside $250 a month into my sacred account. By the time Christmas gets here, I will have $3,000 in my sacred account. Okay. This $3,000 is growing at a 3 to 5% annual return. And it's going to continue doing that. And I can borrow against 70 to 90% of that. My interest cost will be 1 to 3%. I take the money I've borrowed to buy the things. I give the things to the people. Guess what? The money's still growing like it never left. So I'm going to buy the things anyways. I'm going to use money to buy the things anyway. So the question becomes, do I want to pay interest to a bank? Do I want to use my cash and never be able to invest that again and lose out on 12% interest for the rest of my life on it? Or do I want to put it in my sacred account? By putting it in my sacred account, I still have access to the money. I still can use the money. It's still growing like it never left. And down the road, all this money I spent on Christmas is actually going to be building me wealth. Like, think about that. That's a great option. Why would you not want this? So if you're buying presents for people, you're using dollars to buy the things to give to the people, you should use the sacred account for that. That's my argument there. Okay. Your other option is cash. You're paying 12% on opportunity costs because you're not investing that money, or you put it on a credit card. Dumb idea. Don't be a dingus. Your family members wouldn't even want your Christmas presents if they knew that it was costing them 10 to 12 or costing you 10 to 20% interest and stressing you the hell out. They would be like, dude, don't do it like that. I'm not that important. It's a gift. Don't put yourself in financial slavery over it. Like, if someone was going to buy me a gift on a credit card, I'd be like, please just don't. Like let's be smart about this. You can just give me a card, right? Like, I don't want you being financially enslaved because you felt like you needed to buy me a trinket that, once a year you buy for someone. Okay. So let's use the sacred account instead. So that's the first argument I'm going to make. Now, here's the counter argument. Okay, well, Jerry, then you have to have $250 a month. You're spending it already. You should save $250 a month. If you're using your money, you need to have that saved anyways. This is just the math divided by 12. Okay, now if $250 is a problem, you probably shouldn't be buying Christmas presents at all, because that means you are putting it on a credit card. You're literally you're costing yourself your financial future to buy somebody a toy, or to buy somebody a trinket or a piece of jewelry or a vacation to Disney. Like, it's not worth it. There are better ways to do it. Now, I'm not saying don't do these things. I'm saying do these things in a way where you're not injuring yourself to do them. Right? Like, it's kind of weird when you think about it. Like, someone is actually financially enslaving themselves to go to Disney World. Like, Mickey Mouse at that point is the jailer. Like, he is God, and you're putting yourself under the bus to get ran over so that you can go, propitiate to Mickey Mouse with your family and walk around in the hot weather all day. Right? Like, I know that's a different way to look at it, but that's the way I see it. Is like, why would you go into debt for this? Why would you use all of your money and all your reserves for this? Put yourself in a position where you actually can benefit from it. So it's $250 a month. You should be saving that anyways. If you're spending cash, you already are. We're just planning for it now instead. Or we're going to go on a credit card. Okay. I'm not even going to have that argument with that. You and I both know that's a bad idea. Okay. So we're not even going to validate that by me saying, let me argue against that point. It's just dumb. Don't do that. Bad idea. Right. Now, the other thing is, okay, well, Jerry, you can only borrow 70 to 90%. So if I need to save $3,000, I actually need to put in more so that I can actually, use that $3,000 instead of having 70 to 90% of it. Because 70% of $3,000, for example, right? So if I have $3,000, 70% of that is $2,100. Okay, so now I can only spend $2,100 on Christmas presents. Okay, good. Well, then let's put in some extra. $3,000. Let's say I can borrow 70% of that. That's $4,285. I'm going to put in $4,285. That's going to grow at 3 to 5% for the rest of my life. So I can borrow $3,000 a month and finance my Christmas presents in a way that I make money on Christmas presents. Why are we arguing about saving more money? That's the ideal scene. You should save more money. That's a good idea. It's not like I'm saying go get a car payment, or saying go buy cigarettes, or go waste it on Las Vegas gambling. No, I'm saying prudently put it in an account that's not going to lose money, that you'll never pay taxes on again, that's guaranteed to grow forever. Pretty good idea, right? That's like saying you should eat healthier. And you're like, but then I can't have as much bad stuff. That's the point. You should eat healthier. That's why you would eat healthier, is to have less bad stuff, because you want to be healthy, because that's how you do it, right? So that's the first argument that I want to make here. The second one is going to be why you should ask for one of these for Christmas. Okay, so for Christmas, let's talk about that. So we talked about buying things for others, right? We're going to talk about your own stuff now. Why would you want this as a Christmas gift? Why would you go ask your mom, dad, husband, wife, parents, whoever, get me a sacred account for Christmas. Here is why. Okay, who's ever gotten a gift card for Christmas? Right? You get like $100, you get, $300, whatever it might be, right? So instead, the setup fee for a sacred account is $250 one time. Okay, this is what we charge to set up an account. Now, what does this actually come with? There's a few things this comes with. This comes with a 6-month membership to Wealth Dynamics U. That's our online financial education platform. This comes with 1 copy of my book, Blueprints of Financial Freedom. This comes with 1 copy of my book, How to Create Wealth. This comes with 4 copies of my Big 3 Challenge Journal. Okay, this comes with a coaching call. This comes with unlimited support. And also, it comes with access to weekly webinars, weekly trainings. And on top of that, we're going to design and build your sacred account. Okay, as far as is that worth $250, that's a no-brainer, right? Like this alone actually costs more than $250. We sell Wealth Dynamics University for $1,200 for 12 months. You're getting a 6-month membership for $250. No brainer, right? Like already right there, game over. This is something that's worth more than it costs. That's the first thing to look at. So I would ask someone, get me a sacred account. I don't want a PlayStation. I don't want new accessories for my car. Okay, I don't want another iPhone. I've got the 10. It's the same as all the other ones. It turns out the camera is just a little bit different. Does all the same stuff. I want a sacred account. I will fund it. I will do my own contributions. Minimum contribution is $250 a month, or up to 15% of income. So you get to pick how much you're going to put in there. You're not asking this person to fund it for you. I mean, they can if they want to, but you're asking, can you just buy it for me? $250 setup fee. This is what I want for Christmas. Why? Because you can use it for so many things. You can use it to pay off debt. Like get out of debt this year using a sacred account. That's your Christmas gift. That's probably one of the greatest Christmas gifts you can give somebody if they have consumer debt. I've been there. It sucks. It's stressful. It's expensive. It makes you feel poor. Like it does all this stuff to actually suppress you and bring you down as a being. Getting someone out of debt, giving them the tool to get themselves out of debt is one of the greatest gifts you can give. Okay. Second thing is you can build your reserves up, your 6 months of reserves. You should have 6 months of expenses in reserves. So you spend $3,000 a month, 3 times 6, 18,000. You should have 18 grand in reserves at all times. Most people have much less than that. 60% of Americans have less than $1,000 in savings. Like I said at the very beginning of the webinar, about 25% of Americans have zero. They're not even saving, right? And so they're supposed to have 6 months. Most people are never going to get there. And the reason being is they're not on a forced savings plan, and it's not automated, and it's easily accessible. Like one of the reasons I love paying interest on the sacred account, and this is going to sound super weird, it's not even because it avoids taxes, and it's not even because it helps me grow the money while I'm still using it. Those are both good, but it penalizes me for doing non-income producing activities. When I borrow from my sacred account, because there's an interest rate being charged, and because I want to pay myself back, it requires me to put the money towards something that actually produces income or frees up an expense, right? Like it's an incentivizing system of, okay, if it costs me 1 to 3% to borrow and I want to pay myself back over this period of time, the thing I'm borrowing for has to finance that. So it's either got to be an income producing investment, or it's got to lower my expenses to where the freed up payment can pay myself back and cover the cost of the interest. Right? I love that. That's great. That's a rewards and penalty system. So if I'm trying to build 6 months, what better way to keep the money there than to have a penalty of interest for borrowing for dumb stuff? I want to borrow for whatever. Like if it's not a good thing, like it's not going to pay you back, why would you do it? Right? You've either got to reduce a payment, avoid a payment, or get a payment. Okay, reduce a payment. I pay off debt. My minimum payment's gone. It reduced my payment. I can now pay myself back with that. Avoid a payment. I buy a car with my sacred account instead of financing it with the bank. Now, whatever I would have had to pay towards the bank on a car payment, I'm just going to pay towards myself now, or gaining a payment. I'm investing it for income. Those are the three things that I've got to look for anytime I take a loan. So it can help me build reserves. Okay, the other thing I just mentioned is it can help me do self-financing on large purchases, right? Let's say I want to buy a car this year. If you're an entrepreneur, listen up. If you've got business profit and you buy a vehicle through your business that weighs at least 6,000 pounds and you set it up correctly, you can write off up to 100% of the purchase price of that vehicle against your income taxes. Okay, when I learned that rule, since then, every single car I've bought is that. I write it off in my income. Now it's based on usage. So I buy them in December, usually second week of December, third week of December. If I buy it that year, I can write off 100% of the value as long as I used it for a 100% business activity the year I bought it. So if I buy it in December, the second week of December, for 2 weeks, I'm only going to drive it for business. So I can say, yeah, that was 100% business that year. Right now, if it's a $70,000 vehicle, I get to deduct that against my income. 70 grand reduces my taxable income. I get a car that I love. I have my sacred account used to finance it. It's growing the whole time, and I've offset my taxes. And in 5 years, I've got a paid off car. I made payments to myself, right? My money grew like it never left. Like, that's a great way to go. So that's self-financing. Or the final thing is you can invest. Okay, we have clients doing this all the time, right? So for example, we're really big into seller finance real estate. I buy a piece of property, I put that on the market, I seller finance someone else, they make me a mortgage payment. I'm going to make probably 12 to 14% on it. But if I put it in my sacred account first, I'm also making an additional 3 to 5% on top of that. Right? So these are all things I can do with it, but I have to have an account to be able to do them. So if I don't have an account, or let's say I want another one, I'm just going to say, hey, give me a sacred account for Christmas. It's $250. You're going to spend that on me anyways. Okay, if you weren't, then do it this year and don't buy me a gift next year. Like, just do 2 years worth of this year. I want the account now, or maybe pay for half of it. I'll pay for the other half. That's what I want for Christmas. Like, knowing what I know now, having what I've had now with the sacred account for years now, I've got lots and lots of money in my accounts. Okay, I would do this as a Christmas present. If I didn't have one and I knew about this concept, I would be chomping at the bit. I would be like, this is the only thing I want. Okay, I don't need a card. I don't need a gift card. I don't need to go out to a restaurant. Like, I can do all of that with my sacred account once I have it, but I've got to have it first. Okay, so there's my argument. And I bet that you didn't think when you joined today on the webinar that you were actually going to be like, he's kind of right. Like, that makes sense, right? But it's true. Okay, I see clients on here that have them, and I know they've had the same experience I have, where it's like, yeah, if I didn't have one, I would want one. And if it was a Christmas present, that would be a damn good Christmas present.
If you're wondering, what does Wealth Dynamics do? How can we actually help you? Number one, if you haven't gotten a copy of my book, Blueprint to Financial Freedom, grab one now. You can get that down in the comments in the video. You can get the link for that. And finally, if you have a desire to start getting help walking through these different phases toward financial freedom, book a call with my team. Go to our website, set up a call. We're able to help out and answer questions. That's how we can help you. Thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure you turn notifications on, and I will talk to you guys on the next video.